This video will assist you in operating your feeder once it arrives on your floor. This is an MFT 350 Value Series friction feeder. It has a little bit fewer features available compared with our IP series feeder, and we'll be explaining those as we go along. When you turn the feeder on, this is the first screen that will appear. Indicates that the status is off, and just by pressing the on button it changes the feeder to ready status. Now you see that we're in batch count mode. You have two choices of operation. Batch count means that you can feed a quantity of 1 or up to 9,999. All you need to do is just change this setting here, hitting change count. You see now that we have a count of 1. Change count allows us to, well, let's say we'll put a count of 5. When I hit the enter button, it stores the new setting. Now, I mentioned that the feeder is in ready status. That's really only true because we have a product at the end of the discharge. This is our product sensor pair, and this is monitoring the presence of a product. Now, we have a green light status because we have a product at the end of the discharge. The feeder, because it's in ready status, is now ready to operate. Now we just hit the cycle start, and I'll hit that and show you on the screen what happens. We have 5 pieces that leave the feeder. That's because we have the count set to 5. Now we'll change that count, same manner we did. Go back to 1, hit enter, and now we need to hit clear to clear from that function. I'll hit cycle start one more time. Again. So now we have the count set at 1. And you see that we have a speed change button. We're now running at a rate of 50 meters per minute. We'll change that to 100. And you see that the feeder has a maximum speed of 140. Now see if you notice. Oh, we have a little static in our building. So we're running at twice the speed as we were earlier. I'll change the speed back down. 250. And we'll run one again. Okay. Now, what happens when we have no product under the product sensor pair? I will hit jog, and as I hit jog, the feeder will run and will stop whenever I lift up on the jog button. Pull that out. Okay, now the feeder was supposed to go to off mode, and it didn't. Let me go into technician settings, and the password to go into technicians is 89177, and we have to change the setting. Auto on off. That switch is correct. Oh, here we are, no product faults. I think you can see that. We need to set that to on because we want the feeder to fault when there's no product present. Remember I mentioned that the feeder was in a ready state? Well, now the feeder is in feeder fault, watchdog no product. And that's because the product is absent. And also, you can see that we have a red light condition. So, how do we set the feeder up so we can start operation again? We need this first card to be in position at the end of the discharge. The way we accomplish that is just to hit this button here, jog to clear. I'm going to depress it once and we'll see what happens. It stages the next product. I'll hit jog to clear one more time. And it brings the next available piece into position. Regardless of where the first piece is, it will eject that first piece if it's under the product sensor pair. Now we see that we have a status ready condition and we also have a green light. So the feeder will operate just as it has, cycle start, and we'll feed a piece out. And also, because we are using or could use a start sensor, we have to have the feeder be in an auto on condition, which we can attain by hitting this button. So we're in auto on now, and just by putting a hand or a lug or another object in front of the sensor, you can hear and now see that whatever the count is set to will be ejected from the feeder. Now this particular feeder doesn't care about the thickness of the product. All it's looking for is separation between one product and the next. Okay, now there's another mode that we have available, and we access that by hitting the menu button and then the number 3, which is setup. So I'm going to hit button 3. We have two choices. We're now in batch count mode, and then easy tipping is the second choice. So by hitting number 2, we select that value. Okay, now you see on the screen that we're in easy tipping mode. Now the feeder will not operate now unless we have this encoder moving. You see that it's in, it will operate moving in this direction. So even if I move my hand in front of the start sensor, nothing will happen because the encoder is not in motion. Okay, a couple other things that change is the function of these two buttons. When we're in easy tip mode, by hitting change speed, that allows you quick access to the product length button. Now it's important, especially in easy tipping, that we know how long the product is. That's how the feeder and the computer keep track of where the feeder product is within the feeder. Ensures proper placement. Now it looks like we have 78 millimeters. So we'd want to set that value here. Okay, now I hit clear again. And then the second button, which normally is change count, is placement delay. And what does that mean? Well, when we're in tipping, we're always laying one piece on top of another. And let's say we had a situation where you wanted you wanted this to be right about dead center. You're feeding it this direction, but the base piece is longer. Well, when you tested the product, you found out that it placed it close to the front, and you wanted to change that so that it moved it back by, let's say, 1 inch. That'd be 25 millimeters. So the placement delay is now set to 315. So to make it land where I want it to, I'm going to change the value to 340. And it's that simple. It's the only adjustment you need to make when you're setting up for easy tipping. You need to have the correct product length. That's the length of the piece in the discharge. And then you may need to adjust the what's called placement delay. And that's always in millimeters because we're using an encoder to keep track of the speed and movement of the base pieces. And of course, when we're in operation, the start sensor will be underneath the feeder. For example, usually 1 to 2 base pieces back from the pinch point. Well, we appreciate the opportunity to provide our equipment to you. If you have any questions, you're welcome to call us. I'm John Walsh. My extension is 123. You can also reach Mark Nordling, whose extension is 113. Our phone number is 651-407-3100. Thank you very much.